How many times have you been conditioned to believe that nothing worth having comes easy? Well, that's simply not true. Great achievement results from a positive belief in yourself, a belief that you can accomplish anything you want. And you can, with the help of the Alan Watts Prosperity Seminar, a unique blend of Silicon Valley technology applied to the human machine. Realize your goals in life. Call 408-993-8600 for more information.
That pleased some people and scared the heck out of others. A message that said, "Eat popcorn, drink Coca-Cola," was flashed for a thousandth of a second between the frames of a movie. The audience in the New Jersey movie theater apparently didn't see it. But that night, 58% more popcorn and 14% more Cokes were consumed.
That made the theater owners happy.
Yeah.
It was called subliminal advertising. Many saw it as a horrible intrusion on privacy and worried that it could be used by a big brother type of government to try to influence people without their knowing it. Very chilling idea.
Fortunately, those dire possibilities didn't come to pass, and now it appears that subliminal messages have a beneficial side. They can be used for learning.
At least that's what Dr. Phillip Hansen claims. Professor Hansen is a professor of education at Cal State Northridge and an expert in subliminal learning, and he joins us today on 2 at noon. Is it really true that if I listen to a tape that doesn't have actual words on it I can hear, that I can be influenced?
Indeed you can.
Why does that happen?
Because you are constantly being bombarded, even now, by perhaps 1 million different subliminal, in other words, stimuli, of which you're not aware.
Like what, for example? Like now, what are we being...
Everything from cosmic radiation to sounds that are below your level of awareness.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that is happening below your level of awareness is being monitored, listened to, by states other than your conscious state that are we often call the subconscious states.
Yeah.
And those states help you to learn.
You brought with you some tapes that simply sound to anyone who listens to them like ocean waves, chirping crickets, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, let's listen to one of them and see if we detect anything else going on.
All right, splendid.
I have one here.
Sounds like the ocean to me.
Except I have a sudden urge to eat popcorn. No, seriously. Seriously, that tape, which sounds simply like ocean waves, is a tape that you produced that contains subliminal messages. Is that
Correct.
right?
On different tracks. A white noise, in this case the sound of the ocean, which has a broad spectrum of frequencies, is used in order to give us a good base to embed the message.
And what would be the message on the one we just heard, for instance?
They might be affirmations which are positive statements encouraging you to...
lose weight, for instance, or...
That one was
really
the weight
hope that
one.
you wouldn't bring that one up. You can think of me as the world's most successfully cured anorexic.
You've been too busy listening to the other tapes.
Right.
But you can stop smoking, you can stop biting your nails, you can have a better sex life. I saw that one of your tapes has to do with sex.
You can learn about relationships and how to have a more satisfying relationship.
Yeah, well, but what's on it? What does it say? What's it telling
It says
me?
things, let's use the no smoking tape.
All right.
That's the one tape that I have used personally. As one of the advisors to Midwest Research, I know what's on the scripts. And so, for me, the no smoking tape took a bit longer.
But what does it say?
It says things like, I am concerned about things that I put in my body. When I put healthy things in my body, I feel better. Healthy products are the only things that I wish to use. And so affirmations like this...
Why couldn't we just listen to a tape that said those things?
That you could hear?
You could.
I see.
However, consciously, you will tend to defend against these things. It's the natural propensity of all of us to defend against intrusion.
Got to ask you, talk about intrusion.
So,
when somebody buys a tape and it's supposed to be how to stop smoking, how do I know they didn't say something else in there? And if I can't hear it, how can I check to be sure I'm not being influenced with something I don't want to be influenced on?
Okay. At the present state of the art, there is no way for you to extract that message.
So you might get ripped off, possibly. You could.
There's a possibility. However, if you took it to high-quality recording studio, perhaps you have that here at the studio, you could
Slow it down enough to...
Could
you
you
could
lift it out?
detect that there was something there.
Uh-huh.
The oscilloscope would show you that there was a wave
In other
pattern.
words, these tapes are feeding us messages at a fantastic speed that go directly past the conscious mind to the unconscious mind and make us feel or react a certain way.
Right. They encourage you to act in a positive, beneficial way that you would naturally wish to do anyway.
Now, people who want to know more about this can go to a conference, I believe.
Yes, there is a marvelous conference that's going to be held May 9th in San Jose. Some very enterprising and clever people there have put together a conference on success motivation, success and prosperity, and these people are going to introduce the attendees to a use of subliminal tapes that will help to bring them success and prosperity in their lives. It's not the only thing that's at this conference, but it's one of the new techniques that they can use to learn success.
Thank you very much, Doctor.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
And coming up, how to package the Duke and win an Emmy. That's next.
Shopping at Lucky and do the Beach Boardwalk. With us today is Professor Phillip Hansen from Cal State Northridge, who is going to talk a little bit about subliminal learning. I guess becoming aware of it. It doesn't have to be learning, but I mean having a subliminal message be received by a person, which we've heard about for really many years now. I mean, there's been talk about this in commercials being slipped in here and there. You don't recognize it, that kind of thing. What's the best use, though, of subliminal learning, do you think, Professor?
I think really the best is as a support to regular cognitive, conscious learning. Right now, of course, you're being bombarded by a million different stimuli.
Sure.
Stimuli you're not aware of, and you are learning from them. It would be nice, however, if we could control, somehow program those stimuli that we aren't aware of.
How do you utilize it in your teaching or in treating somebody who comes to you with, say, something they want to specifically learn or overcome?
My specialty, of course, is working with people who work with handicapped youngsters. And I was just gratified the other day to receive a letter from a lady who has a developmental center in Utah. And she is working with particularly children who have brain injury, cerebral palsy, post-stroke, and so on. And a young boy, 7 years old, for the first time now is beginning from post-stroke after 2 years to be able to get muscle movement back in. He's beginning to feel confident. A cerebral palsied girl, 12 years old, for the first time had a completely dry night.
Now, this is from subliminal learning.
They are
How are they
learning-
being taught?
They are listening to a white noise sound, the sound of the waves in this case. It's a nice, convenient sound in which to embed messages. Then on various tracks, some messages are at high speed, some at low speed, some at high frequency, some at low frequency, and so on. They receive positive affirmations, statements which will help to support the teaching that Miss Pike, who in this case has this particular home.
Now, they don't know they're hearing that. They
don't
can't
know they're
detect
hearing
that
this.
from the wave sound.
Just as we can't detect the subliminal sounds that are around us now.
Right, so they were, at night, it's over a loudspeaker or whatever, they're hearing a noise of the ocean or whatever it might be, and within that somewhere is this little tiny...
Embedded all through are several thousand repetitions of some very simple, very positive, helpful, supportive statements.
And that has a good way of finding its way into your consciousness, huh?
It gets into your consciousness easily, just as the random messages get into your consciousness now.
There was talk a long time ago, well, recently even still, you hear about putting Spanish language tapes under your pillow and all that kind of thing, you know, at night. I mean, so that you can subliminally, I guess, learn to speak another language, something to that effect. You're saying actually at night, though, it maybe not be the best time.
Sleep is not really the best time for subliminal learning. Your delta state, your theta state, which are the states of consciousness most appropriate to sleep, really have a lot of very important things to do for each human being, and they would prefer not to have to deal with those things at that time.
Does it work? Can it work, actually?
It works, but it works very slowly.
Yeah.
During the daytime, when all states of consciousness are available, when you are studying, when you are watching television, that would be a nice time to listen to the tape at a level just below what you are consciously attending to.
I think that's and you could even pick it up over a television set, or, I mean, with a television running at the